And now, an 8th special presentation.
This time on Art Beat Nation. Two artists find a novel way to honor one legendary cartoonist.
This man really was quite brilliant.
Explore the interactive possibilities of digital photography.
What a great thing to basically try and combine social media and photography.
High school students race against the clock to create unique works of art.
You can do everything that you want with art, really. I mean, you can express yourself.
And quilting is elevated to an art form.
Some people walk up and go, "That's a quilt."
It's all ahead on this edition of Art Beat Nation. Funding for Art Beat Nation is made possible by contributions to 8 from viewers like you. Thank you. In Columbus, Ohio, artists Wayne Kane and Daniel White pay homage to legendary cartoonist Billy Ireland through their stunning stained glass creations. Crafted with great care and attention to detail, each panel depicts aspects of Ireland's life and illustrious career.
We had an opportunity to commission this art glass, and it seemed to us to be an ideal opportunity to use art glass to teach people about Billy Ireland's life and work, and to celebrate that in a format that might be somewhat unexpected and prompt people to think a little bit differently about how cartoons work and why they are beautiful and how they are beautiful.
We already felt like we had connected to Billy Ireland, and it was very exciting, the possibility of being able to make something that would go into a museum that would bear his name.
So I'm very touched that with all the artwork that Billy Ireland produced, that you would go out, that the Billy Ireland Museum people would go out and commission another artist to create a work of art.
Billy Ireland was the most famous cartoonist to work in Columbus, Ohio. Billy Ireland was born in Chillicothe, Ohio in 1880, and the story is that he, as a little boy, drew with chalk on the sidewalks.
I love the fact that he's self-taught. I really identify with that. That, to me, shows that, you know, his art came from within.
We need to remember that at the turn of the 20th century, photographs were still relatively new in newspapers. So cartoonists were hired to do all kinds of drawings.
I love the way that he was into politics and that he fought for what he believed in. I like his robustness, you know, the way he loved good food, and he liked to drink, and he liked to go fishing, and he liked to, you know, swim naked as a boy, and all of these things, you know, and hang out with politicians and judges. And he evidently was a very well-rounded man who just fit right in. And evidently, in order to do that, he was very respected for it.
Ireland drew 5 to 7 editorial cartoons every week, as well as an incredibly complicated full-page Sunday feature called The Passing Show.
All of it is very, very relevant. It looks like some of it may be dated, but the more you look at it, the more you're like, I know exactly where that applies to, you know.
Billy Ireland passionately cared about his community, and I think it's that love of place that really shows up in his work. He had opportunities to go to New York. William Randolph Hearst reportedly offered to build a color printing plant here in Central Ohio if Billy Ireland would do a comic strip for him, and Ireland refused.
And after the flood of 1913, the waterfront downtown along the Scioto was devastated. It really was a slum.
Basically, what Ireland did was to try to talk to people about Columbus's front door, that folks who came into Columbus from the west really saw a slum. right before they reached downtown, and that we should be embarrassed about that, and we could do better.
I have 3/16.
I have a 16th of that.
Bring it this way.
I've got about a 1/4 inch.
The work came with a number of challenges. One is, how do you translate cartoons, which were intended for paper, to art glass?
So then, after we cut the glass, it goes to the painting stage. And that is very, very, very elaborate. You have to work out all your different colors, you have to work out your firing temperatures, and you have to work out your style. I think we probably spent 3 or 4 months just practicing the style. And the reason is that you don't want to start off, you don't want your project to look like it's a progression of skills. You want to go into it with top-notch and be top-notch throughout the whole project.
Each panel is, on average, probably fired between 4 and 6 times, depending on how many colors or what touch-up a line may need here or there, or what was lost in the kiln, because the kiln can sometimes burn away the color in an unexpected way, or the oil didn't grab as much pigment as it looks like. My job was to come up with paints that would look as much like watercolor as possible, and pen lines and strokes and thicknesses that would look as much like what he was doing on paper, except we're using glass. We have a selection of cartoons that we could use, and then figuring out how they interacted best with each other and what position, and how to balance them throughout the window so that it didn't look like, you just placed them in picture frame, so to speak, but they're all interacting with each other in some way, moving or playing one off the other.
The interesting thing I think about our art glass is that it follows the tradition of art glass in the great cathedrals of Europe. The art glass is there to teach, and the window here in the reading room is intended to beautify, but also to teach people about Billy Ireland's career and all of the things that he did for our community.
And I hope that one day when people see this piece, they will think that someone did this out of a true passion and love, not only for their craft, but for their art and for the inspiration that it came from.
We want the windows to draw people into that type of sense of just awe, of, appreciation that, this man really was quite brilliant.
To learn more about the museum, visit cartoons.osu.edu. St. Louis photographer Tony Carosella is revolutionizing the way people interact with still images. By embedding barcodes into his photographs, Carosella encourages direct engagement between the viewer and his subjects.
I thought, okay, well, what a great thing to basically try and combine social media and photography. And so one of the things that I thought about, and I'd been working with this for a long time, is using a QR code. And so when I generated the QR codes, I thought, oh, what a great way to maybe make a digital journal by combining not just one QR code, but you could do many, all on one image. And in this case, devoted strictly to the glass blowers. And I could go further. I could take this to where I put 5 or 6 QR codes on an image. So I can associate a video, I can associate photos, I can take it to a website, I can put a business card on there. I can also put a phone number on there and have your phone directly call right off the QR code. So a lot of variety that you can do that's associated with these codes. So the traditional technology, and we've gotten to this point so far because we've transitioned from film, of course, now to digital, and now we've got, incredible digital capabilities. And the interesting part of transitioning now, going from just the straight digital photography, is now we've got a way to actually have that digital photo become interactive. So this is Doug Auer. He's co-owner of Third Degree Glass. And in this one right here, you'll be able to see that the QR codes are masked in there. And so I have some for the QR codes for the background are different. They're masked in differently than the ones that are actually on the body of the artist. And so if you were to also show this, you know, and do a scan, the whole idea is that when you are at the gallery, you'll be able to just go right in and scan to the artist's work. And in this case right here, it will scan right to Doug's, his pieces that he actually has for sale at Third Degree. So this is the gallery that they have on Third Degree. And then if I were to go to the background, then I can go here and I can scan for the background, and I can just pull this in right off the background here. And that'll take you right directly to Third Degree Glass's, their mobile website. And so you have everything right there ready to go. I experimented with the different colors. Can you use different backgrounds? And so I tried to find different palettes and things that would work with the codes themselves. And then and I found out that I could split the photo up into many different little quadrants or whatever and make those codes part of those different pieces. And so essentially I could have kind of a hodgepodge of different codes that relate to different aspects of the picture. I guess I'm intrigued by the technology itself. So if I look at something like a QR code, a lot of times it's just kind of an interesting mental exercise to go, okay, well, this doesn't look very good all by itself. What can I do with this that can take it to a different place? And so when I came up with this, being able to put a couple different kinds of codes on these images and doing a little bit of masking and things like that, it, you know, for me, I kind of got the satisfaction of, you know, oh, okay, now it's turning into something that actually looks nice, has a certain sense of design, and has a practical function for it too. I also kind of look at the commercial aspect of it too, because I think that this might be a good way for advertisers or to sell products, you know, but have these codes to where they're not just a little garish kind of, you know, afterthought. One of the things that I know that I will put on all my photos is a small QR code that will be sort of my signature. So I'll at least have this, and it will have all my business contact information on there. So if somebody does do a QR code reading, it'll instantly create a contact with all my information on the smartphone. So I find that to be like, oh, hey, instead of passing out a paper business card, here it is right here. Now, I think what's going to happen is we'll take a look at this, and from the show, we'll see, oh, then it kind of builds on itself. And so I love seeing that. I love seeing, you know, when you throw something out there and other people all of a sudden looking at it and going, you know, I've got an idea that we'll tack onto that. So it usually just builds.
High school students in Salt Lake City, Utah got the opportunity to show off their talents in a one-night-only art competition. Whether they're throwing pots or dabbing paint to canvas, these talented teens have just 4 hours to create their masterpieces.
Art Night Live is an event where students from the Granite School District gather to just do art.
Students are selected by their teachers to be able to participate in Art Night Live.
They used to call it a super art night, where the kids would come and actually do their artwork. They would provide soup for those in attendance, and then they would actually display the art at a local mall for the general public to view. From its inception, that's kind of morphed into what it is today.
They bring everything they need, and during that time, the public comes through and witnesses what they're doing.
We bring in nationally recognized artists or state recognized artists that are experts in their field to kind of mentor and teach the kids while they're judging.
Each person has their own category that they compete in. There's some drawing, there's some painting, and you have 4 hours to complete a piece of art. And at the end, the art is judged by other artists and awards are given.
I was selected as one of the advanced ceramic students from the school. It was just a really good event to get some ideas, learn some tips, and just see other people's pieces.
I mean, with everyone doing their different styles of artwork there, and then you have the judges and the art teachers coming around and looking at your work.
I was really nervous for it. It fared out well, and I did the best that I had ever made a cylinder at the competition, so that was exciting.
As they're creating, they have community members come by and comment on their work. They also have their work on display, so people enjoy that and also make comments to them about how much they like their work.
Granite Education Foundation serves about 67,000 students. That fluctuates from year to year, of which 63% are at or below the poverty level.
You can buy these really great art supplies online provided by Art Night Live and Granite Education.
So they don't have any out-of-pocket expenses. Everything's provided for them to participate.
It builds communities. I mean, just not the experience of these kids, but the experience for their parents of being connected to school. You know, they're coming from areas where they didn't have a lot of the same opportunities that their kids are experiencing now. And it's helping them become more connected and fulfilled.
I would say it would be really hard. It'd be really hard to do art if you didn't have art classes available through school.
Ceramics has been by far my favorite, just because you get to work with your hands more, and you just get to take a lump of clay and you get to turn it into a pot. And I feel like it's a stress reliever from school.
Well, it gives them the hope for a better life and knowing that they can grow their talent in an area and just greater self-confidence.
It helps me release stress. You know, just sitting down and being able to draw something, it relaxes me. It helps me know that that I have something in my life that I love.
You can do everything that you want with art, really. I mean, you can express yourself with color, with shape. You know, it can be whatever you want. And it's different for everyone.
The one common thing that they're all getting that brings them together is art.
It shows you that your own perspective on your outside world, it matters. The way you perceive the world isn't just, you know, another facet of life. It's sort of like, oh, that's just the way it is. It's personal, it's important to you personally. It makes me go, wow, you can do that with art.
Quilting might conjure up images of basic patterns and primary colors, but at the International Quilt Festival in Houston, Texas, quilt makers turn the medium on its head. Works of art notable for both complexity of design and nuance in color.
The largest annual quilt show in the world. We get around 60,000 people from literally all parts of the world. We have over 1,500 quilts on display here, but we also have over 1,000 vendor booths. There's no shortage of things to shop for. We have upwards of 350 different classes, basically everything you could want to know about quilting. We have all of these gorgeous quilts that are on display. Some are traditional quilts, like you might see on a bed. Others are redefining that a little bit. Natural settings, floral imagery, botanical imagery, these are all really popular themes across the spectrum of quilting.
My name is Carol Breyer Fowler Gentry. I am a quilt artist. That means I make fine art, but I'm using traditional quilting materials and traditional quilting techniques. A block from my studio in Paducah, Kentucky, there's a Bradford pear tree that sheds leaves in all these amazing colors and patterns. So I picked up a leaf and scanned it and started playing with the design and abstracting it and then adding color in. The whole thing was drawn full size on paper, and then I cut out each shape from the paper and attached it to fabric and cut around each one, and so they became separate templates that I pieced together to make the complex design. And then I do a lot of quilting with different colors of thread, and that's really the completion of the piece of art.
We have actually a number of international exhibits this year, one from Taiwan, one from Jerusalem. And then we always have that international aspect to our show because we have a judge show component in which the world's top quilters send their works to compete.
Every time I'm going to Jerusalem, I always feel such an holy spirit, and everyone who goes to Jerusalem says so. It's something special in this city. Every quilt is really different, and everyone has his own Jerusalem. So you can find many, many different Jerusalem here.
We have a couple of exhibits here from the Studio Art Quilt Associates. Basically, they're an organization of art quilters, and their work really represents the cutting edge of contemporary quilt artistry. A really popular movement in quilting right now is called modern quilting. It's based in tradition, traditional techniques, and even sometimes some slightly traditional designs, but then tweaked a bit. So they're going to use more modern colors, modern design aesthetic, a lot of negative space, things that you might not expect to see in quilting. Some people walk up and go, that's a quilt, because it looks like a photograph or a painting, but it is in fact constructed with fabric.
This exhibition is called What's for Dinner, and we thought it would be interesting to do a piece that looked sort of like a place setting, and also really wanted to have the exhibition look like a dinner party.
There's one that's a sushi one, and it's three-dimensional, and it's wonderful. It like comes to life on the dinner plate, where the octopus legs, and it has buttons on it. It's just graphically stunning to look at.
One of my favorite unusual ones is a meal ready to eat, and it talks about how you get this, how you get this thing that's in a package and looks about as unappetizing as you can, and the artist was fantasizing about being able to eat something other than that.
It's 3 layers.
A quilt is 3 layers stitched together, and it doesn't matter what you stitch what to what.
And it doesn't matter what size it is, and it doesn't really matter what the format is.
For more information, visit quilts.com. For more arts and culture, visit azpbs.org/artbeat, where you'll find feature videos and information on the Arizona art scene. Funding for Artbeat Nation was made possible by contributions to 8 from viewers like you. Thank you.